We'll start, though, with the post office. Saturday delivery soon to be a thing of the past. Our Hampton Pearson is live in D.C. with details. And Hampton people still asking some questions as to whether or not they can do this unilaterally.
Yeah, and I think you got more of a clarification from the Postmaster General in your live interview in the last half hour. Essentially what he's saying is this. The continuing resolution, which basically is funding and running the government as we speak, the Postal Service believes, as that resolution is written, there is, if you will, he won't call it that, but in essence, a loophole that will allow the Postal Service to go ahead with its plan that, as of August 1st of this year, to stop delivering mail, if you will, on Saturday. Packages going forward would continue. Now, that's the UPS stance. The continuing resolution we're talking about lasts for another 6 weeks until the end of March. He's also taken the position, if Congress disagrees, there's time to work this out. Further down the road, the issue of the August 1st deadline is 6 months because to put all the things in place to make that service cut happen.
Hampton, thank you for that. Good primer on what we need to know here going into this next interview. The Postmaster General, as Hampton said, did talk with us earlier this morning on the news that Saturday Postal Service will be no more. Take a listen.
A typical large organization would have either cash on hand or quick borrowing ability, 2 months worth of cash to cover their operating costs. In October, at one point this year, the Postal Service had less than 4 days of cash on hand. That's a very scary situation, and it's no situation that a business should be in.
He's been outspoken about the Postal Service in the past. He's proposed his own legislation on what to do with it. Congressman Darrell Issa of California, chairman of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, joins us from the Hill. Congressman, welcome back.
Well, good to be back, and today is a good day for Americans because this is a responsible action by the post office. Understand they've lost, they're losing tens of billions of dollars each year. They've defaulted on over $11 billion of their obligation. So this money-saving, smart move is going to be a step in right-sizing the post office. And remember, they're keeping with the spirit of the rider, which is, if you're an American and you want to get postal delivery on Saturday, you will get it. It will cost you $5 and change to get a package or a letter. But at a time when a greeting card might cost $5, to spend $5.60 to have it get there for sure on Saturday is a reasonable price.
So your view is that if they can do this unilaterally, and even if they can't, you believe that Congress would approve?
Absolutely. They are maintaining 6-day delivery for our elderly and others that depend on medicines. They're maintaining a 6-day letter delivery. What they're not doing is agreeing to go with one letter to your mailbox for 40-some cents. It's just been unreasonable. So direct delivery at a cost of just $5 and change will get a letter or a small package to your home, and it'll get it there on Saturday. And by the way, the post office is the final destination for UPS and FedEx. They haul a tremendous amount of small packages. This will continue that service, but will save over $2 billion a year of excess labor right now being spent in a diminished market, delivering as few as one letter to somebody's front door. I don't think we want a deal if it's costing $2 billion of loss every year.
Congressman, you know how businesses run probably better than most congressmen, and we have discussions here all the time about how you can't shrink yourself into prosperity. But when you look at charts of mail volume, of annual revenue, their net income versus losses, their comp and benefits, this doesn't seem to be the path, the answer to everything. Saturday, that is.
It's not the answer to everything. There's a number of things that were in our legislation that need to happen. We came close to a deal with the Senate in the last Congress. Certainly, we need to stop delivering to a chute and go to delivering to a cluster box. That saves many billions more. And the reason we need to do it is more and more citizens are receiving packages, and homes do not have a place to put a small package. We need to have cluster boxes that are secure, so when you get your medicines or your packages, that you can get them securely. So there are changes in what will be a 21st century delivery system that will go on very successfully, but it's going to have to be done with a little bit less labor, it's going to have to be streamlined, and it's going to have to meet the needs of an internet age in which most mail, most communication, and most checks are not going to be delivered by the post office.
Yeah, as someone said this morning, email continues to operate 24/7. What I'm hearing from you, though, is that the privatization discussion really isn't on the table, so to speak, anywhere in Washington. Is that true?
Well, you know, privatizing something always seems like it's a catch-all that it'll take care of it. But nobody would buy the post office while it's losing over $10 billion a year. Making sensible changes, Congress stopping those sensible changes, that's what we have to change. We can get the post office to a break even. If there's a further independence of the post office, whether through a partial or complete privatization, we can have that discussion, and we can have a sensible discussion when the post office is delivering a service in which it's able to break even or make a small profit. They're not there today. Congress today has an obligation to treat them like what they are. They are, in fact, a private enterprise run by the government under the Constitution, and they have an obligation to break even, and we've stopped them from that for a long period of time. We need to do just the opposite. We need to help them get to a break even, because the American people like the service when they want it, but they only want it when they want it. You know, one thing that people should realize, even Social Security checks will no longer be delivered, not one of them, through the mail. They're all going direct deposit. So even the government is no longer using the post office unless it makes sense for the government.
Yeah, it does. I mean, even on a day like today, people still marvel at the fact that you can spend less than 50 cents and send a letter 3,000 miles. Congressman, thanks for your time.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Darrell Issa joining us from the Hill.